Hello everyone and welcome to ICSA 2021. My name is Leonard and joining me here today is Chef Malcolm of Candlenut.
Hello, hi.
Okay, so we have a bit of a tricky situation here because Chef Ton is over in Thailand and of course we have Tracy in Taiwan. Hello Tracy.
Hi Lennon， 嗨，大家好。那我这边是台湾这边的主持人。那因为呢，我们 Chef Don 是代表Baan Taipei，是成为我们这次活动的一个主厨。那我们透过了3方的连线呢，今天能够做跨国的合作。那我们现在把时间呢交还给我们 Lennon。
So basically my Mandarin is not very good. That's why Tracy is here to help us translate. Otherwise, none of you Mandarin speakers will be able to understand me. And of course, over in Thailand, I see Chef Ton over there. Hi, Chef Ton.
Hello, so hi everyone, and hello Leonard and Chef Malcolm and Tracy and everyone that's watching ICSA.
All right, so let's have a little chat with Chef Malcolm since he's next to me. Chef Malcolm, so you run a Michelin-starred restaurant called Candlenut in Singapore. How would you describe the food at Candlenut?
Okay, so at Candlenut, what we really do is Peranakan food. And I think the question now is, what is Peranakan food? Right, and I basically come from a Peranakan family, and this is something that is not, something that I grew up with, not created by me. So essentially, this is a culture that exists in Singapore and this region of the world, right? So the history really is when Singapore. I'll give a story, right? Singapore in many years ago, we were just like a fishing village. Right, we're just doing our own thing and all that, but because of our geographical location, people had to pass through these straits, and to do trading. And Singapore was one of those perfect places to do trading. So then, in particular, these were the Chinese traders that came to this part of the world. And they start to do business and they start to settle down here. It's not so, not like now where you can just fly back and forth.
No planes back then.
When you come down here, you spend a great amount of time, and so they intermarry with the local community. So that's where the beginning of the Chinese and Malay culture was fused together. So you do see that coming through in their in the language they speak, in the costumes they wear, in the furniture, architecture, and of course, my favorite part is the food.
Of course.
So then this thing has been passed down to my great-grandfather, my grandma, my mom, and now it's me. So really, when we talk about Peranakan food, it is to be easier to understand. It is a fusion of Chinese and Malay kind of flavors, ingredients, and techniques. Yeah. So very interesting. You'll see like Malay style curries, and then at the same time Chinese soup, braised dishes, especially sometimes from even like Hokkien dishes as well. And then the desserts will also have that kind of influence from coconut milk, pandan, and so on and so forth. So it's very colorful, very unique to our cuisine.
Okay, so that's a very long answer, but can I just say that for someone who has never experienced Peranakan food before, Peranakan food is a coming together of Malay and Chinese culture, heritage, and also foods.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
So Tracy, over to you in Taiwan. Basically, I don't know if anyone in Taiwan has really experienced Peranakan food because I think it's a very like Southeast Asian sort of concept, but for our Taiwanese viewers over there, maybe you can help us translate. Peranakan food is basically like Malay and Chinese culture, food, heritage, history combined together. And so the cuisine is very interesting because you have both Malay ideas and you have both Chinese ideas in once.
OK, no problem. OK， 那这边呢，我们也透过刚刚主厨的一个访谈哦，因为其实我们 Malcolm 主厨呢，他其实是属于一个娘惹餐厅的一个主理人，那所以刚刚有特别做过个访问，去了解一下什么样是属于娘惹的文化。那基本上娘惹文化是一个东南亚独家的一个文化传统。它由我们马来西亚的一个传统，再去结合所谓中式的一个厨艺的一个结合，去打造一个专属于马来西亚的一个特殊的饮食文化。所以这边呢，主厨也特别提到说，因为他在这个餐厅里面，他也希望能够让大家去经历到不同的一个文化饮食的一个融合，所以他主理的餐厅是以娘惹饮食文化为主的一个餐厅。
Okay, so over to you, Chef Ton. Maybe you want to introduce what you're doing over in Bangkok, your restaurant.
Yes, so hi everyone. So I'm Chef Ton from Bangkok, Thailand. So I have a few restaurants in Bangkok. Of course, we have Ledu, Nusla, and Lanyai, and I'm here now at Baan, which is my family style, kind of like our family recipe. So it's what we eat growing up, as a kid, and it's real. I would say it's like the recipe from my mom and my grandma. It's what we like to eat, from it's our childhood memory. So what we try to do here at Baan in Bangkok, and as well as Baan in Taipei as well. And then, so basically Thai food, I think everyone know the Thai cuisine quite well, that we have a lot of, combination and flavor and, spicy stuff and many things. But then today I'm very excited that we can, collaborate with Chef Malcolm, because I think, Thai cuisine and Peranakan cuisine has something very, something in common. The spice, the herbs that we use, and also in the southern of Thailand, as you know as well, that the part that closer to Malay and Singapore, in the south of Thailand, we also have some of the Peranakan influence as well. In the province in the south, like Prang or like Yala and Natiwa, that close to Malaysia. So I'm very excited today.
Awesome. So Tracy, just to summarize what Chef Ton said, of course, Chef Ton has a restaurant called Baan in Taiwan. I actually haven't been, but based on what Chef Ton just explained, it's very traditional, home-style recipes passed down from, your grandmother or your mother. And so maybe you just want to introduce Chef Ton's restaurant to your Taiwanese viewers first.
Okay, no problem. 好，那我们回到台湾这边的主场呢，我们也藉由这样的一个视讯连线，跟 Chef Don 能够去串接上哦。那这边主厨也特别提到说呢，我们在台北呢有一个餐厅是 Baan Taipei， 那也是由我们 Chef Don 去主理的一个餐厅。那基本上呢，主要是独家去打理关于就是所谓泰式的一个传统的家常菜，这也都是他的奶奶传承下来给他妈妈，甚至到他这一辈所拥有的一个泰国料理。那有机会呢，也邀请各位的观众呢，能够去莅临我们Baan Taipei去，能够去尝试一下它的一个家常菜。对，那我们这边呢，就回到我们新加坡主场继续。
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay, yeah. So after my introduce of the Baan Taipei, so it's the turn back to Singapore.
Okay, so I think now we are ready to start cooking. Chef Malcolm is going to show you what you have received in your ICSA box. So Chef Malcolm, maybe you want to go through the ingredients?
Okay, all right. So what we are doing today, it's a beef noodle dish, right? So we just go through the ingredients first, and then we can talk about how we came about this concept of noodle as well. All right, so in the bag, you will have a few different bags of food. All right, so of course we are doing the noodles. So for today we are using a rice noodle, and we can use different kinds of noodle if you want, but I feel, and maybe it's a childhood thing for me, I like to eat the rice noodle that is the tin one. Right, so for us here in in Singapore, we have the tin rice noodle. We also call like the bihun here. All right,
so bihun or vermicelli, I think Tracy, 你们在台湾是有这种米粉对吗？
有米粉，台湾有米粉。对，我们有粗的有细的，其实都有不同的一个形式。
Okay, and then of course the curry that we have made already. So this one very complex, different amount of ingredients inside, and it's based on Chef Ton's recipe. Yeah, so this is something very flavorful. There's all the usual suspect. It's similar to Peranakan, but it's it's the way we plan it is slightly different, and that gives us a different curry profile from what we have here in Singapore. But it's pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay, so this is the curry you receive, and also another one will be 2 different cuts of beef in here. One is beef chick. Yeah, I like this because the flavor is very beefy. But at the same time, actually, a lot of people, for beef, they love to eat the steak, like the rib eye or the strip loin. But my favorite cut is the oxtail. I always remember from young, my mom will cook the oxtail stew, and we will Yeah.
So it's really like soft, falling apart, braised texture.
And really the idea of, trying to get the meat off the bone, and then you have those bone marrow inside.
Ooh, and then you just suck the bone marrow.
Yeah, that's my favorite. So you will have this too also in the packet. Okay, we will have another piece of beef as well, which is right here. Okay, yeah, we can put it up on the tray.
So you have two kinds of beef basically.
Yeah. Right, so this one here, this is, we have some beef short rib as well. Also one of my favorite cuts, a bit more premium. Again, different texture. And this has been cooked already for 2 days.
Wow.
Like this, and infused with like chili, lemongrass, and kaffir lime leaf with some seasoning.
So what is the difference that you're using two different kinds of beef for this dish?
Yeah, so the base was because of Taiwan. I've been there and we love to eat beef noodle in Taiwan, right? So then there's different beef cuts and all that. So this is also the same kind of concept where we want people to try different pieces because they're really different in texture as well. Now, of course, the methods of cooking are also different. The ones that I showed just now were cooked directly in the curry broth itself. Yeah, and then this one, we use another cooking method to retain its tenderness and its, the flavor we can infuse with those lemongrass and kaffir lime. So it's again a different flavor profile. So when you have the noodle later, it's different.
So it's nice. Two different kinds of beef, two different textures, two different flavors altogether.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So right here.
So Tracy, just to summarize what Chef Malcolm said, we have the beef and the very thin noodles. That's going to be the base of the dish, and then we have the sort of curry broth that is a recipe from Ton. And then we have two different cuts of beef. We have the beef cheek, which is much softer. It's going to have the braised texture. It's going to fall apart. It's also going to give a bit of that bone marrow, so a bit of that fattiness. And then of course we have a more premium cut of beef, which is the beef short rib. It's already been braised, but both the beef have been cooked very differently, and also different marinade, different aromatics. So you have two kinds of beef, two different flavors, two different textures, and it's just going to go so nicely with our curry from Ton, of course.
Yes.
好，那我们稍微呢来简介一下我们刚刚所看到一些我们食材的调理包的一个部分哦。那所以这边呢 Chef Malcolm 有提到说，我们在牛肉的一个选择上面呢，其实我们的料理包里面有牛夹的部分，所以牛夹是比较弹性有多汁，而且能够在嘴里融化的一个部分，所以可以带给我们的就是用餐的一个观众来讲是一个比较幸福的一个感受。那当然搭配我们牛肉条的部分呢，能够创造出口感不一样的一个层次。那当然我们主体呢有我们的米粉的方式去做一个搭配一个面食的部分。那另外最后呢还有我们这个 Baan Taipei 这边 Chef Dong 所提供的一个咖喱的一个所谓的酱汁调味包。那这边的话也是他从亲自的一个所谓的 Thai Family Recipe 所呈现出来的一个酱汁来做基底。那我们稍后呢就进一步来看一下我们两位主厨呢怎么去呈现这一道美味的料理。
Since your name has been mentioned a few times, I'm going to ask you a question now. This curry, I understand, is a recipe from you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the curry?
Yes, like you said, this one is the curry that we call Khao soy. So it's actually the curry that belong to the north part of Thailand. You will see a lot in Chiang Mai, in Chiang Rai, and actually this curry is I would say it's like the traditional curry that has been fusion between like a Thai, Chinese, and actually the Burmese that they migrated from China in the south of China to the Burmese, and then they have the trade and the connection between the north of Thailand and Burmese. So then this curry came about by combine all the spices from the spice trade, that passed by Myanmar as well. And the north of Thailand with the Thai herbs and local ingredients, you see, the chilies, the lemongrass, and, that kind of stuff in the curry, which is I found very interesting. That's why I think I choose this one to have the collaboration with Chef Malcolm, because I know that in Peranakan cuisine, the interesting thing that, Chef Malcolm already mentioned, we almost have the similar ingredients, but we applied it differently. And then, which is, a very interesting thing to see as well, that what Chef Malcolm doing it with the recipe, and then, this would be very nice. So and then we're very happy what is come out, and with the nice beef short ribs and beef cheek from Chef Malcolm as well. I also want to try myself. Also, I haven't tried your beef short ribs. So can you send some to Bangkok as well?
You have to cook it yourself, Chef. So Tracy, just to summarize what Chef Don said, the curry is a northern style curry. It's the style of curry is combining, Chinese, Burmese, and Thai sort of ingredients and heritage and culture and foods, and that basically comes together in this Khao soy curry, and that is basically going to be the broth for our dish today.
Okay. 好，那我们刚刚呢 ，Chef Don 帮我们大家介绍了一下这个烤髓的酱汁哦。其实我相信台湾的观众可能对于烤髓没有这么的了解跟认识。那其实呢，烤髓这样的一个酱汁呢，其实是从泰国的北边，甚至是所谓中国的南边传承过来的。所以基本上它在清迈那一带其实是非常的普遍的一个饮食文化。那其实就很像台湾会吃的一些汤面，但他们的口味是以咖喱为基底的，当然再加了一些辛香料在里面，所以吃起来呢是一个比较偏咖喱味比较浓厚的一个所谓的精面。那这边呢主厨也特别的去做一个这样的一个呈现，那有机会呢我们都会透过这样的一个食材包一起来做品味跟品尝。
Okay, so I think let's get cooking. I think all of you are quite hungry at home. We're going to show you how to reheat your ICSA package. I think Chef Don, you can cook along with us if you can see us. So Chef Malcolm, I hand it over to you.
Okay, all right. So the first thing we really want to do is to get this the curry broth out of the bag, and then we start to heat up first. Okay, all right.
So Tracy, we're just going to remove the curry, and then we're going to transfer it to a pot and just heat up the curry.
OK， 那我们这边呢可以看到 Chef Malcolm 把我们所谓调理包的一个咖喱的酱汁呢先拆封，然后把它倒出来哦。那我们稍后呢用简单的一个加热的一个方式来去做一个烹调。
When you get it out of the bag, you can smell.
I can smell all the spices.
It
smells amazing.
Yeah. And it's not even heated up yet.
And it's quite a thick curry also, yeah?
Yeah, we'll adjust it slightly. So we get it heated up.
Okay, what's next?
Okay. Okay, so next also we have the back of the first part of the beef. This one is having the cheek and the oxtail as well.
I see.
All right, so we're going to get this opened up as well.
How long did the cheek and the oxtail sort of braise for?
Okay, the cheek we go for about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, and then to let it rest, and same for the oxtail. So very different. When you buy them, you got to just cook it slowly, long and slow, and then you keep checking. So around the 2 hour mark, you start to check, and then just see, because sometimes different cheeks.
So every batch will come out different. So you have to adjust.
You have to adjust. You have to check, right? So how this is done is, it's been cooked directly into the broth itself, and so right now what I'm gonna do is to heat it up inside the curry broth.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just gonna drop the oxtail first.
Okay. So Tracy, Chef Malcolm is taking the oxtail and putting it directly into the curry so that they both heat up together.
Okay. 好呢，那主厨刚刚也特别提到，所以其实基本上它也都是精选了一个牛夹肉跟牛肉条的部分，有稍微炖煮48小时而精制而成的这个食材包。那我们现在拆封以后呢，把我们的牛夹肉跟牛肉排的部分放到我们的咖喱锅里面去做炖煮。
Chef Don is also heating up his curry. He's trying to show us on screen that his curry is nice and hot.
Looking good and smell good. I'm sure it smells good over there as well. So.
It smells amazing in this kitchen right now.
I'm so jealous.
It starts to lighten.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So if you see your curry at home and it comes out very thick from the packet, but once you start to heat it up, it's going to thin out very slightly. All the oils are going to start to melt. So don't worry about that. That is completely normal and fine. So we are just, what are we looking for? Do you want it to come to a boil or do you want it to just...
Yeah, we just get it to a boil right now.
Okay.
And then we start to lower the temperature. So that allows the beef to slowly heat up.
Okay.
All right, don't let it boil. Don't let it boil all the way.
Okay,
if not, your curry will just dry up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tracy, be careful for all those over in Taiwan. If you are heating up the curry, please don't let the curry boil
Too long. Yeah.
Just once you start to see a bit of steam coming out, I say just cook it very gently because really you just want the beef to warm up. You don't want the curry to boil aggressively or anything like that.
And then later, before we serve, we can just quickly do a high heat.
To make sure it's very, very hot.
Just hot, then we go.
Okay.
Done.
So Tracy, the main focus is just heat your curry up gently with the beef. Make sure it doesn't boil too aggressively. Otherwise, you might ruin the dish.
OK， 好，那这边呢，主厨要特别提醒我们各位的一个观众朋友，我们的咖喱汤呢，跟我们的牛夹肉跟肋排的部分呢，我们用非常小火的方式去把它做加热，让它的温度能够提升。但是我们不建议用大火的方式，那因为我们咖喱的一个汤汁比较容易去烧焦哦，所以我们要用细心的呵护来保护我们的汤汁跟我们的精华，能够慢慢的去温暖起来，能够让它比较 warm up 一点，那不要让它做烧焦这样。
Okay, so next step, Chef, what are we going to do?
Okay, the next one will be the second cut of the beef, which is the short rib. Now, this one we have cooked it for 2 days. So this allows, it sounds very long, but there's a reason because, typically if you just cook short rib normally, like if you just boil in a curry or braise it, it could also take about 2.5 hours maybe.
Okay.
But we do it over 48 hours. Now, this also tenderizes the meat, but never allows the temperature to rise beyond 60.
I see.
Yeah, so later when we have this, the middle is going to be nice and tender, flavorful,
right.
but also you will see is like a medium rare kind of color. So it's going to add a very nice contrast in texture and also that kind of presentation.
So would you say that this texture of the short rib is more like a steak?
Yes, it's like a steak that is very tender.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
And right now, we just because doing this, we're just gonna sear it off after this. Okay. Then that adds another layer of flavor on top of the seasoning that we have added inside. Okay. Yeah.
So Tracy, the short rib basically has already been cooked, as Chef mentioned, for about 2 days. It's completely cooked through, but what Chef is going to do is he's going to sear the steak to give it a bit of color and also to, would you say, like lock in the flavor, give it a bit more?
Yeah, it's like a char flavor that we want. Yeah, okay. So when the noodle, you have that braised beef also, and then you have the char flavor from this part of the beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So Tracy, what Chef is going to do, he's going to sear the beef, which is going to give it just that charred flavor, just to give it a little bit more dimension with the dish.
好，那这边呢，同时呢，我是主持人 Tracy， 这边来跟大家稍微更正一下。我刚刚有特别提到说，我们的咖喱酱汁呢，我们先放的主要是我们的牛夹肉的部分哦。那现在我们的 Chef Malcolm 要做的一个步骤呢，是把我们的牛肋排再稍微的煎上色，然后把我们的肉汁做锁住的部分。所以其实，在我们的食材包里面有2个不同的一个包装里面，我们是把比较大块的牛夹肉放到咖喱汁里面去做炖煮。但我们的牛肋排的部分呢，我们就是师傅已经做过一个大概2天的调理。已经有一些入味了，那我们稍微用火煎完上色，然后把所有的肉汁锁在里面，那我们就可以呈现出比较原始的一个肉汁的风味。
Chef Ton, you look a bit bored there. Are you ready to sear the beef now?
Yes, I already like now doing the beef, and actually for myself, I'm doing my version. I sear the beef before, and then after that I put in the curry to heat it up together. So I might be like a step ahead, but similar method.
You sear on both sides and then you put it into the curry to heat up.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So because I like the Khao style, traditionally they eat like cut into the beef into pieces. So I just do it ahead of time.
Awesome. Okay, so Chef, are you ready to sear the beef?
Okay, so yes, we are ready. So right now you just need to heat up a kind of a non-stick pan. All right, not like too high heat, right? Just get it in a medium high. Yeah, so it's not going to over char it. Because this one actually, what I've done is I've already seared it once.
I see.
Yeah, for flavor with salt and seasoning, and then we pack it in this and cook it for the 2 days.
Yep.
Yeah, so all we need to do is just to re-char it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's already there, right? Okay, so we're not going to go crazy to
Not to
get
go
it to
over the
burn
top,
it. Yeah, don't
top
burn
over
it.
the top.
Yeah, just
Okay.
dry it up and to add that flavor. So we get the back open first.
Sure.
Yeah. Just to show you how it looks like first. You can see.
So you can see the color of the beef is quite dark, and that's because, as Chef Malcolm already mentioned, he's already seared it once. This second sear is just to give it a bit more char flavor, but not over the top.
Yeah. And to like kind of get the crust again. So you can see it's a little bit, there's a bit of moisture around it. Yeah. So after we fry it, you'll see. And sometimes what we like to do, if you, next time you do, you can have like a charcoal grill or something. Ooh. And you grill over. So the flavor is different again.
Yes, everything just chars better over charcoal.
Yeah. Right? Okay. So for today, we're just going to do it over the pan. Just some oil. Okay.
So just a bit of oil into a non-stick pan, and then
all right. Yeah. So okay, just be careful.
It's gonna sizzle.
Yeah. So don't too high heat. Just be careful.
So Tracy, for our viewers over in Taiwan, basically just add a bit of oil to a non-stick pan, heat it over medium heat, and then just sear the beef on both sides.
好，那我们这边呢，主厨Malcolm的部分呢，已经就是把我们的所谓的牛肋排的部分呢，放到我们的中火的一个油温里面去做一个煎煮哦。所以基本上我们就是把牛肉放到我们的 pan 里面，就是我们的锅子里面，稍微把双面做一个煎上色交色的一个动作。那当然，刚刚也稍微补充一下呢，就是主厨也特别提到说，其实这样的一个牛肉做法也不一定是稍微煎上色。如果像说我们用炭火的方式，这一碗面又会呈现出不一样的一个风味哦，会带掉一点咖喱啊，然后一些炭火的一个香气在里面。所以怎么样去呈现呢？其实主厨都有很多创意的方式去做呈现。今天多了一些炭烤的风味在里面，或者是煎上色一个煎烤的动作，都也会让这一碗汤面的一个味道会完全是不一样的一个风味。
Okay, so as you can see, the beef has really taken on a really nice dark color and really nice crust as well. You can see it's bubbling away really nicely. And like, how dark do you want it to be at this stage?
Yeah, so right now, you know, not too high heat. Like say just a medium heat. As you can see, it's not even like full blast, right? The temperature, and you can see. Right, so what I want to do is, you know, at the same time we are charring, but slightly warming up the beef in the middle. I like to turn it every like 30 seconds. We'll do it for like just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
You know, and you can see the smell already.
Yeah, it really releases all the aromas.
Yeah, it's different
in the beef, right?
Yeah.
That looks beautiful, and I can see that the curry is bubbling away very gently. Yeah. Really, really nice. And the meat has really softened up quite a bit now.
Yep. Okay. All right, so you see?
So just a few more flips?
Yep, just one more and then we can get it out. Yeah, so you can see. Okay.
That
so
looks that is beautiful.
Yeah,
let's get a close up on that. Super nice. Chef Ton, how are you doing over there?
So I'm just gonna start to cook the noodles. So just get the boiling water ready, and then we're gonna cook it for like 1 or 2 minutes.
Kitchen are you in now?
I'm sorry?
Which kitchen are you in now?
Now, which kitchen?
Yeah, which kitchen is that? Is that Ladoo?
It's Baan. So I'm at Baan.
Ah, okay.
So it's at Baan in Bangkok. So now try to just to cook this one, and then I don't know. I will put some of the bone marrow oil that from Chef Malcolm. Mix it with some noodle.
Yeah.
Traditionally we put like a garlic oil, but then Chef Malcolm made the bone marrow oil, so I will mix that in with the noodles after it's cooked, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the bone marrow oil sounds amazing because
Yes.
it makes sense to use bone marrow also, right?
Right. I mean, nothing wrong, right? Nothing can go wrong with bone marrow oil. So.
Okay, so Chef Malcolm, what's next now that the beef has been seared?
Okay, so beef seared, all right. What I will do is we can get ready to heat up the noodles now. Okay, so you should have a pot of water that is going.
So just plain water in a pot, bring it to the boil.
This is just to warm up. Right, you can get ready your bowl that is for plating.
So Tracy, we are almost done. This is the last step of the dish. You just need to have a pot ready with boiling hot water just to reheat the noodles. And if I'm not wrong, the noodles have already been cooked, right?
Yep.
So this is just to reheat the noodles basically. So it will take a few seconds.
Yep.
OK， 好，那这边的话呢，当然我们就是要把我们的面来做加热哦，所以同步在泰国呢 ，Chef Dong 也开始去煮我们的面条了。那我们在食材包里面呢，帮大家准备了就是所谓搭配烤水的一个面条，黄金面在里面哦。所以大家把拆封之后呢，我们就在滚水里面把它煮熟，烫滚之后就可以来做食用了。
So Tracy, this is sort of like a more spicy version of like 你们台湾的脑腩面，对吗？
捞面，
牛肉面，你们台湾的
台湾的牛肉面，对，台湾的牛肉面，其实我们就是吃就是牛肉的一个鲜甜啊，跟美味，就像刚刚 Chef Malcolm 提到了，台湾其实比较喜欢台湾这种牛肉面，它其实吃起来很 tender， 而且这是台湾本身我们在中南部有一些黄牛，所以吃起来是口感跟所谓西方进来的牛是完全不一样的。也欢迎你们有机会可以来台湾吃牛肉面哦。
Yeah, so today's version will be a little bit different, same but a bit different, right? You know, we've got the Thai Peranakan spices coming in from the curry, but also there's beef and there's noodles, so in a way it's still beef noodles. So I think I can see Chef Malcolm heating up the noodles in the boiling hot water. And how long will this take?
Very quick, yeah. Just 10-20 seconds, okay, just to warm it.
So you want to get your plating bowl ready next to you, so it's easy. So just drain the water and then transfer it to a plating bowl.
Okay.
Chef Don, are you getting ready to plate as well?
Yes. So I'm just finishing up the noodles, just from the boiling water, and then I will add some, the bone marrow oil to mix in.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so we have a few condiments. I think Chef Malcolm can explain some of the ingredients we have in the bag.
Okay, I will garnish more on the bone marrow oil on top, and I'll follow Chef Ton's method and put some first.
This is a live four hands, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at the color of the noodles. Like the beautiful bone marrow oil really turns the color of the noodles yellow. Is the yellow from the turmeric? Or?
Yes, turmeric as well.
I see. So just adding the oil to the noodles and tossing it so that the oil gets absorbed by the noodles. I mean, the noodles absorb the oil and get tossed evenly. Chef Ton is like way ahead of us.
I just finished mixing, so.
Okay. And what I will do now is also to next get the beef slice.
Okay.
For this one. Okay. All right, so we're just going to place it here on the board.
So we have a short rib that we seared earlier. Now we're going to basically slice it into strips, I think.
Yep. So this one you can, it's really up to you how you want to slice it. But most of the time you want to slice it bite size.
I see.
Yeah, so then you don't have to chew so much. So for this size that I have, I'm just going to go into half and then I'll cut it into, almost looks like a beef char siu already.
Yeah, I think with the really nice char from searing it twice, you can see the char is beautiful, but the doneness is so nice and pink on the inside.
You can see it's just tender all the way through.
That looks amazing. It looks so soft.
Yeah. All right. So we just slice it, and we can go this way. Okay.
So you think that's a good size for?
That's a good size. Bites? Yeah. Okay. So every time you use your chopsticks, you can put one in. Yeah. your mouth, and then the texture is going to be great.
That's so nice. I think that's how like professional chefs think when they think about how they slice. It's really how does the diner eat the dish? How easy it is for them to eat the dish. So Chef Malcolm is slicing it into bite-sized pieces so that when you dig into your beef noodles, it's going to be super easy. You don't have to pull it apart with chopsticks or anything like that.
This is totally different texture from the beef that is in the curry right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy, are you very hungry looking at this now?
Yeah. OK， 那我们透过呢荧幕，我们其实看到现在台北的现场，我们虽然 Chef 动不在我们身边，但是我们大家观众已经看到非常流口水了。尤其看到 Chef Malcolm 在这边切牛肉的时候，天哪，我们这边都已经暴动了，整个在我们的摄影棚都产生暴动的状况了。好，那当然呢，刚刚 Chef Malcolm 呢就是把他的一个牛肋排的部分煎熟了之后呢，我们就是对切的形式，去呈现出粉红的嫩色、粉红色的一个肉色的部分呢，我们再一个比较急入口的一个大小，所以大家可以看到 Chef Malcolm 切出来的大小大概都是小口的一个正方形的一个能够就口的一个大小，那所以这样比较入口即化，能够去产生肉汁跟我们在口感里面做一些融合的部分，能够大家好好的去享受这一碗咖喱面哦。所以我们现在回到新加坡的现场来看一下我们 Chef Malcolm 他的摆盘以及呈现出来的这一碗咖喱的黄金面哦。
Yes, so you can see Chef Malcolm is plating up the dish. He is placing the oxtail and what's the other one again?
Beef cheek.
Oxtail and the beef cheeks into the bowl.
Yeah, you can see so tender when it's like.
So I can completely see why chefs have used different cuts of meat, because the short rib has such a different texture and doneness from the braised beef cheek and the oxtail. So it's going to have such a nice range of flavors and profiles and textures. And I can see that chef is placing the beef very gently and sort of so that when you look into the bowl, you can see everything, all the ingredients at once, and it's going to be super beautiful.
Yes, beef noodle. Look, must have a lot of beef.
It's the most luxurious beef noodle I've ever seen. There's like more beef than there are noodles in this bowl.
Okay, yeah. So all the beef goes in, and then I'll just quickly bring this up to a quick boil. Yeah, and we pour it over. Just gonna take like 30 seconds only.
So Tracy, over in Taiwan, when you have the beef and the noodles already in place, you just want to reheat the curry one last time to make sure that the curry is very, very nice and hot, because of course you cannot have, curry just tastes better when it's nice and hot, right?
好，那这边呢，就是主厨 Malcolm 有特别提到说，其实我们都已经呈现摆盘的状态的时候，他也会把剩余的一个咖喱的一个酱汁再稍微的以小火再加热一下。那所以当我们真正在品尝的时候，我们可以真的以一个比较在冬天比较温暖的一个口感的一个温度来享用这一碗汤面。
Okay, so I can see that the curry is just come up to a boil. I think Chef is going to start pouring it over into the noodles. And the smell is just amazing in this kitchen now. You can smell all the aromatics in the curry. It smells so good.
Oh, it looks good.
It looks amazing. I think that the short rib is really nice because it just gives it a bit of a different color. So that's a super, super nice touch. And we have leftover curry for rice for dinner if you want.
Okay.
And I can see that we have a lot of garnishes. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We can eat soon.
Okay, so what I do now, because now we have the hot the curry soup over, I just put a bit more of this bone marrow oil on top.
So Chef Don, I think you're waiting for the cue to put the bone marrow on as well.
Yes.
Flavor, color.
Okay, so what do you have next?
Okay, so we have different garnishes. I'm sure Chef Ton also has some that we think will go well. So we have a bit of fried shallots.
Okay.
Freshly fried shallots.
So we have fried shallots. I assume it's to give it some crispiness?
Yes, and the flavor.
The flavor,
nice. Yeah, very good.
Shallot.
Okay, for us here, we are going to put a bit of pineapple.
油葱吧。
We have some pineapple going on.
Pineapple.
So Chef Ton, are your condiments that are going on the curry basically the same as ours? I can see you have some lime there as well.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
Yes. We have some fresh lime and then some shallot as well, and also some green onion as well on the top.
So are these the traditional condiments that you eat with khao soi?
Yes, I mean not the pineapple. Pineapple is the collaboration, between from Chef Malcolm ideas, and I think it's quite go very well, to cut the spiciness of the curry. So I think it's perfect as well. Usually in traditional khao soi we will use the pickled cabbage, so but with the same purpose, So I think the pineapple is perfect as well.
It's nice. I mean, there are so many similarities between Thai cooking and Peranakan cooking, but there's also some differences, so we can still learn from each other. I think that's the beauty of a four hands, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think it's very, we can learn from each other. And I think, I would never think that I would put the pineapple, in khao soi. But, Chef Malcolm brings it up and we try it. And I think it's so nice. So here we go. Now we have khao soi with pineapple.
So I think, Tracy, over in Taiwan, you don't actually have pineapple. You're using the pickled cabbage, if I'm not wrong. I can see that in the packet.
Yeah, we use the cabbage. We not use pineapple.
You see.
Yeah.
If you have pineapple at home, you can just try adding pineapple. But maybe, Tracy, you want to introduce some of the ingredients to our Mandarin viewers?
Okay. 那这边呢，稍早我们可以看到，就是说师傅在摆盘之后呢，我们稍微搭配一些配料的部分呢，来增加一些口感风味。那所以他有提到说，他们也增加了一些油葱酥，一个酥脆的口感在我们的面上面。所以增加香气以外呢，也增加它的口感跟它的层次哦。那当然呢，在我们所谓新加坡的一个配料部分呢，他们用的是凤梨哦，搭配在上面，但这个呢，其实在传统的泰国里面，它跟台湾一样，都是用一个所谓的酱菜的部分，但是很特别的，因为他们这次4手的一个合作联谈的一个凤梨的一个配菜在上面，所以口感呢、跟味道、跟层次呢，跟以往的烤水是完全不太一样的。那最后的点缀上面，我们搭配了一些香菜啦等等的一个小的一个辛香料，来把这一个完整的一个烤水的咖喱面来做一个呈现。
So I think we're almost at the end. I can see both chefs have their dishes done in front of them. I just want to quickly ask if you have any questions to ask any of these two chefs, please write them in the chat and we will try to get them to them. Otherwise, Chef Malcolm, I think your dish looks beautiful and I can see you have some sliced chilies as well, which gives it a really, really nice color. Chef Ton, is this going to be too spicy? I see that you don't really have the same thing over on your side.
No, it's okay. Nothing too spicy. I think it's great. So I go try to eat his version soon also in Singapore.
Yeah, I love spice, so we add a bit to give it the kick also.
Yeah, and hopefully we can visit you over in Thailand. Hopefully you can visit us over in Singapore, and hopefully we can all visit each other in Taiwan at some stage. Yeah, so I don't know, are there any questions that we have from viewers?
Okay.
Okay, so we have a question. Khao soi is a kind of curry-based noodle soup. So what is the difference between khao soi and laksa? I think Chef Malcolm can really answer this because he would be quite familiar with laksa over in Singapore.
Yep. All right. So we've gone through just now the idea that although we use similar ingredients, it's the combination of it and the method also that is different. So we go step by step. In terms of ingredients, of course there are some. One main flavor profile of laksa is using of dry shrimp inside the paste itself, right? And the combination of the different ingredients. So that gives it that more seafood kind of flavor. And also once we have made the paste for laksa, compared to this one, we actually have to fry it quite dry. So this develops the flavor one more time, and you will have more chilies as well. So you have this more reddish tinge to the curry as well. Yeah. So this there is, and really the spices inside. So for example, even this has coriander root inside and some of the coriander seeds and all that. So the flavor just, because just some different touches just deviates it slightly, but the ingredients are similar.
I see.
So that's really laksa. And
so
there's more seafood also.
I see.
Seafood, yeah.
So Tracy, just to summarize what Chef Malcolm has said, the question was what's the difference between khao soi and one of our most popular Singaporean dishes, which is laksa. And Chef Malcolm basically said that, a lot of the ingredients are very similar. A lot of the aromatics like the lemongrass, the shrimp paste, the ginger, the shallots, the garlic. Yeah. But because the core flavor of laksa is prawn, there's actually dried prawn that's pounded into the curry paste, and then we have to fry the curry paste very heavily until it becomes almost dry, so that all the moisture and all the the garlic and shallots are completely out, and so that gives it a very different flavor when you boil it into laksa. I don't know if you can summarize that for us.
好，那当我们这边呢，观众有问了一个问题哦，其实大家都像是台湾的市场里面或饮食文化里面，其实我们对于拉萨面，就是属于新加坡知名的拉萨面是比较有一些想法跟有经验的，但是烤水呢，其实是我们在台湾比较不常吃到的一个面款跟面种哦，所以呢，就是观众去问了说这两款的面到底有哪些差异性？那其实主厨特别就是 Chef Malcolm 特别提到说，其实这样的面呢，其实在多元的饮食文化下面呢，其实会有不同的一个发展跟延伸。其实在主体来讲是非常雷同的一个形式，但是呢，其实在拉萨上面它是用了比较多在海鲜上面，像是虾酱啊，以及我们辛香料的部分去把它精致而成的一种就是配置在里面，就一个酱料的部分，浓缩的酱料里面，所以它在我们就是炖煮的一个同时呢，其实这些海鲜的鲜味是会被激发出来的。那跟所谓我们看到的就是画面上的这个烤水呢，它是一个从不同的一些 ingredient 食材去组合起来的，是会有一点的不同的差异性。但总归言之呢，其实都是非常雷同的一个咖喱面的一个形态，但是因为多元的一个文化啊，跟一个所谓的一个历史的一个传承哦，去造就了不同的一个地区区域性人民的一个饮食不同的文化，那也提供给我们的观众来做一个参考。
No more questions? Okay, so Chef Ton, since there's no questions, I actually have a question for you to put you on the spot. So I think if you're not Thai and you're not very familiar with Thai cooking, I think to a lot of foreigners, people just think of Thai cooking as just one thing. But I think Northern Thai cooking is very different from Southern Thai cooking. So can you very quickly just explain maybe what are the differences between a Southern Thai curry and a Northern Thai curry?
Yes. So actually the main difference between the Northern and Southern Thai curry is the type of the chili they use. In the Northern, they will use more like the the big chilies, which have the less spicy, but it's just for the color. But, in the South, they will use more of the fresh chilies. That's why, the Southern cuisine, you will see, in general, is much more spicy than the other region in Thailand, because they're the only one regions that use a lot of the fresh chilies, compared to the ratio with the dry chilies. So they will use the bird chilies, a lot of that in the curry paste. And also they like to use a lot of turmeric, the fresh turmeric as well. That's why you see the curry in the South is quite, yellowish compared to the other curry around Thailand. That I think that would be the answer. And then the Northern cuisine will be much more, I think, subtle compared to the others, regions in Thailand. If you compare with, like a Northeast, which is Isan, which is very spicy, and they not do a lot of curry. There will be like a fresh herb curry, that type of stuff. But in the North, I think will be more subtle, with a lot more spices, I think, with a lot of influence from Burmese and the Chinese and the spice trade as well. Yes.
Tracy, do you get that? Do I have to summarize?
Yeah, I think I can. OK， 好，那当然呢，刚刚新加坡也问了一个问题哦，是关于就是说，请 Chef Don 来介绍一下，就是关于北部的一个所谓一个泰国的一个饮食跟南部有什么样的差异不同。那只要是针对咖喱这一块，因为我们今天做的是咖喱的一个料理示范。那北部的一个所谓泰国的一个饮食文化，他们使用比较多是干燥型的辣椒哦，所以它在辣度上面其实是会比较少一点，比较没有那么辣。但是在以南部来讲，他们用的是比较多新鲜的辣椒，所以在南部的，因为或许在一个天气啊，或者是一个整个环境的状态不一样来说，所以南部的一个泰国人，他们都是使用新鲜的辣椒来做一个料理的调味，所以相对性呢，它的辣度会比北部来讲来得高很多，所以这也是在咖喱上面做了一些区分，或许可以提供给我们的观众做一个参考。
Okay, so I think we have had two really good questions. I think this is the perfect way to end off our ICSA session. I just want to thank Chef Don over in Thailand for putting together some time to spend cooking with us. And of course, Chef Malcolm over here to show us how we did our beautiful Khao soy beef noodle dish. So to everyone watching at home, I hope you enjoy the dish that the two chefs have prepared for you. And we will see you at the next event. Bye.
Bye. See you next year. 那我们明年见喽。